6 o'clock.
What's that?
It's 6, 7.
Five, five, two,
You're
one. You're gonna, I'm gonna shoot you up for that. Yeah, be careful.
Turn that down so it's audio. Hey, Tina, you may start.
Okay, microphones are on?
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to call to order this Board of Selectmen regular meeting on Tuesday, February 27th, 2024, 6 PM. Roll call, Tina Falk for Selectmen, Rich Grabowski, Selectmen, Martin McKinney, Selectmen, Lisa Wood, Executive Secretary. Number 2, Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Number 3, approval of minutes. There are quite a few here.
Make a motion that we approve item 3A, the minutes of January 22nd, 2024 as presented.
I second the motion.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
I guess I'll make a motion then to 23rd. You want to do them as a group or you want to do them individually? I make a motion, we do the January 23rd, 2004 regular meeting minutes.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Lisa, do we have to go individually?
If you don't have any corrections or changes, if you want to ask each other amongst yourselves, then you could do them all as a group.
I did. so I
Any
had-
discussion? Any changes?
I had
No,
none.
Okay.
I'll make a motion that we approve items 3C through 3K as presented.
I second that motion.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Moving on to number 4, correspondence. A, resignation letter from Kathy Wozelick.
We did receive that in zoning and we asked the members at that time if they had anybody replacing, and I guess we go out to the parties after that.
Okay, there was a request that came in today and I did forward that to Maria.
Okay.
Okay. All right. We have a motion?
You don't need
Oh,
to
No,
do
Don't
no
that.
need
need,
to?
just correspondence.
Yeah,
Okay,
correspondence.
B, letter of superintendent of schools regarding second quarter financial report. Any discussion? C, American Ambulance Annual Report of Emergency Responses. Any discussion? Okay, we'll move on to number 5, old business. Discussion and possible action on update regarding potential sale of property located at 48 Lake Road. And Martin, I'm gonna let you take this one, because
One is zoning it.
the letter that's in here was sent from you, from planning and zoning.
Yes, basically, basically what happened is, it was listed on the wrong lot numbers versus street numbers. for-
5A. No, that's okay. Take your time.
So, basically, when we reviewed, 56 and 60 Upland Road in, Griswold, there was some issues whether, versus lot, these are small lots, and the way they were listed in the assessor's office was 60, 56, 52, and 50. And then a secondary parcel, it should be 52 also on the assessor's map. So, Mario and the assessor kind of got together and they, got it down to its 56 and 60 Upland Street. And the town, Public Work Director, Todd Babbitt, indicated he needed a few of those lots for, some drainage issues. So it's actually down to one lot, which is 48 Lake Road. With that being said, zoning, said there was no problem in letting that, going through. We just need to know, what they're planning to do, what the intended use is, and, before the sales agreement is executed, just to make sure it meets zoning rules, and
Okay,
that's basically the end of that.
so we had two proposals for that property. So how do we go forward? Do we,
I think that wouldn't be a zoning, that would be a board of selectmen.
right, so do we ask for both parties to resubmit?
I would think so.
A
I
bid?
would think so, yeah,
Yes.
now that we've gotten it straightened out with the
Now that
other
we
two
got lots,
lots.
and the lots are different sizes, and there's a little bit different configuration, so I think we should go back out to let it to everybody and then do one more time, basically.
Okay,
And then nobody knows what everybody's numbers is, and the presentation is a presentation.
okay. Would somebody like to make a motion?
I'll make a, excuse me, I'll make a motion that we go out to bid on the property now known as 48 Lake Road.
I second that motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Thank you, Martin. Okay, number 6, new business. Discussion and possible action on 2 tax refunds for a total of $3,713.91 as presented by Leona Sharkey, tax collector.
I make a motion, we release the 2 tax refunds for $3,713.91 as Leona Sharp is requesting.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, moving on to 6B. Discussion and possible action on the recommendation of the Griswold Housing Authority to appoint Martin Osga as member of the Griswold Housing Authority for a term of 2/1/2024 through 1/31/2029.
I make a motion, we put Marty Osga on it, because I like his first name, Griswold Housing Authority for the term of 2/1/2024 to 1/31/2029.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and we have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, C. Discussion on presentation of Veterans Coffee House Annual Report. You have the Veterans Coffee House report in your folders and you're the president, yes?
Yes.
Yes.
The president, Dick Wilbur, is here to talk a little bit about that.
Basically, I forwarded the report to Selectman's office, just to have an opportunity to come before the board and first of all say thank you to the town of Griswold for providing us the space to meet and just, you know, address any questions or comments you might have. Briefly, we formed a little over 2 years ago with 7 members, and we have about 90 plus members now. We have, a weekly attendance between 35 and 40. And it probably would be close to 90 if people weren't going to the doctors all the time. That's,
Oh, sure.
that's the way it is. And I just want to say that, you know, part of the concept of the coffee house was to provide an opportunity to get together and share stories, camaraderie, that kind of thing. But also part of my agenda was to have some involvement with the community. And one of the things that we do is, it was in the report, is we volunteer at the monthly food distribution from United Way. And, you know, other things that may come up. We've been in a couple of the parades. We hope that, you know, to be in this Memorial Day parade. And this year, I think we're looking to put together a float. And we have some other ideas that I'm going to be talking with Mr. Burdick about in terms of organizing this year's parade. So basically, I just wanted to you know, let you know that we're around. And if you know of any veterans that want to come on Tuesdays, we generally have presentations on a variety of topics: military history, health-related, safety, veterans, state and federal benefits and that kind of thing, so. To meet from 9 to 11 every Tuesday.
Thank you for all you do.
Thank you. And I do want to say, I've seen firsthand what the group is doing, and I'm so impressed to see how it's grown. And I'm impressed to see the community involvement, and I agree. I think that your group is going to continue to grow, so don't be afraid to reach out and, if there's something that you need. And I'm glad you enjoy the space.
Oh, it's amazing, in the staff, Tina, when you were there, and now that current staff, they're just whatever we need, they're right there for us, and it's sort of like a big team effort. I just want to say we'll be working with friends at Patchogue Forest on some stuff as well. So
Great. Got to keep you folks busy. Okay, thanks, Dick. All right, D, discussion and possible action on proposed alarm ordinance. I don't think that the information in the packet is, I don't think it's descriptive of what the actual alarm ordinance is. I don't know what you thought.
Do you want to make a motion to put it off in another meeting?
I think, yeah, because Lisa, I don't think that the actual ordinance is in the packet.
It is in there behind the letter from Rich, I believe.
Okay, let's take a look.
We have the letter from him, chapter 103.
Yeah.
I haven't read it, so I'd be uncomfortable
Okay.
doing something.
I know that there's a meeting this Thursday and they're going to be discussing it, so, what is your wish?
I'd like to make a motion that I could read it and put it on next month's meeting,
Okay,
if that's okay with everybody.
They're having
Rich.
a meeting on tomorrow, you mean?
Thursday,
Okay.
Thursday at 5 o'clock.
Yeah, I'll second that motion.
Okay, we have a first and we have a second.
Hey, just real quick, Jim, knowing the ordinance from several years ago, and I looked through this real quick, and and maybe I missed it, but there was nothing in there that I found that exempted individual homeowners.
Rich, it's been so long ago since we worked on that ordinance, and we had so many iterations. I mean, that was about a 3-year project.
Yeah, I understand. I totally understand.
So I know there was discussion about that, and that may have been one of the reasons it was voted down at the town meeting. I'm not sure.
Well, it never got to town meeting. It was pointed out to us at that selectmen's meeting when I was a selectman in the prior term. Actually, the former first selectwoman pointed out to us that it wasn't in there. So that's why we didn't take it to town meeting at that point. We sent it back to the ordinance committee, and here we are.
Okay, and one of my questions is, why are we bringing it up again?
Well, I don't see it in there.
It was never created as an ordinance.
No,
No,
no, I mean, the part where exempts individual homeowners.
Go ahead.
you may be able to answer this. It's going to be in the discussion on the Thursday meeting. Am I correct?
I believe that's gonna be discussed along with the.
Okay, all right.
All right, I'm good.
Okay,
And I'm sorry, I can't answer.
I couldn't recall about the exemption for the houses that Tim's talking about. I
Okay.
remember our review.
yeah, it seems to be that that's the one point that keeps coming up is individual homeowners. So would you like to make a motion to table until we have more information?
I already did.
Yeah, I
There's a motion
second
on
it.
the floor, you're just gonna take a vote.
Okay,
All in favor?
all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. E, discussion and possible action, expanding the membership of the Board of Selectmen. Rich, you want to take the lead on this? I know that you had some very definite thoughts.
Well, I mean, I think it's something we need to look at, not only the expanding of but I want to look at different forms of government. right now, I mean, we're only 4 months into this term and we've been very busy with a lot of different issues. I intend to at some point advertise for citizens across the country, try to form a committee to research different forms of government and see how they apply to Griswold, whether they do or not, and this is one option, of course. But I'm not ready to do that just yet. If somebody else wants to take the ball, I'm more than happy to be part of it. Right now, this board is pretty busy.
The one thing I'll add is if you look on the agenda, between January 22nd and February 22nd, we've had 10 special meetings, Board of Selectmen meetings. And the reason for that is, if I were to sit with Rich and have a conversation, we're not able to discuss business because there's a quorum. 3 selectmen, it is not an efficient way to do business. So that in order to have a conversation, and there are a lot of things going on right now that we have to deal with, we have to contend with. And in order to keep the entire board informed, we have to keep calling these special meetings. In my opinion, 3 selectmen simply, that just does not work. I think you're better off looking at something like 5 or some other form of government. And it would be a much better way to conduct business and to achieve what we need to do. So,
Any change couldn't happen before the next general election anyway.
no, so there's a lot of research to go on, but I think we'd like to put it out there and have the residents start thinking about what would work and at least keep an open mind that at least what I've seen since I've come in, and I think that the 2 of you would agree, what we have right now is not effective at all. And we have a lot coming up in terms of the infrastructure on 164, a lot of decision-making, and it's hard. Rich has a part-time job. This gentleman works during the day, and we're constantly calling these special meetings because the business has to be taken care of. And I don't feel that it should be one person on a board of selectmen who's making all of the decisions. I think that you've heard me say before that I believe a decision has to be made by the full board, and that's why we're doing it the way we're doing it right now. So.
A motion to table that till next meeting or at such time that we can address it.
I second that.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. F, discussion and possible action on increasing the salary offered for the position of assessor.
Should I?
Yes, you were the one who did the
wanna
research
start.
on this, yeah, and you
Okay,
did a very good job, by the way.
We've had an ongoing issue with replacing a tax assessor. Her position is required to be certified by the state of Connecticut. And it's not a unique situation from just for Griswold. Many towns are facing the same situation. I've talked to CCM and CCOG to see if they had anybody that would do it on a per diem thing, so many hours a week. They offer nothing. I spoke to union representatives. It is a union position. They assured me if we change or increase that salary, there would be no pushback from the union per se, just a memorandum of understanding changing that. And I've sat with the Board of Finance at their last meeting and explained everything to them, and they have more or less given us the go-ahead and negotiate a contract and see if we can get someone interested. The position is critical to the strength of our tax base and our assessments, in the grand list. So it's an important job, and most people don't understand how complicated it can be because everybody, I worked with it for close time as my years as a tax collector. So I know firsthand what an assessor has to do. And it's not just simply creating a grand list. They're also responsible to administer all the state programs, whether it be veterans, elderly circuit breakers, renters rebate, farmland exemptions, forest land exemptions, all those things they have to administer by law. And right now, we got one person in that office, and it's not, she's not a certified assessor. We were able to get one of our former assessors who retired to come back and spent the last couple of months on a part-time basis, enabled us to at least finish the grand list, which we were required to do by the end of January. She got us a 30-day extension, and we got the final results just the other day.
Mhm.
So it's complete, and she's gonna be done, but going forward, we need to pursue this, so with the Board of Finance on board with what we need to do, and we're going to advertise that position with a salary range, and hopefully we get some response.
And Rich, didn't you had somebody in that position and they denied the job because it didn't pay enough, correct?
Well, there was two different occasions where I was part of who interviewed people for that position in the past. And we had a situation where one individual who was a certified assessor in another town who interviewed with us twice. We had offered the job to her twice and she turned it down twice. So I took it upon myself to go visit with her and sit down and say, if you were in my shoes, what would be the number one issue we need to face? And she said two things: salary and staff. She didn't feel we had enough staff, and salary structure was too low. And I did get some information from OPM that gave us all the assessors' salaries in Eastern Connecticut. I didn't want Western Connecticut. That's apples and oranges as far as I'm concerned, but towns that I found to be similar in size and makeup as ours, they're ranged anywhere from 72,000 to 105. And our salary right now is 64. So that's what we're looking at. And like I said, hopefully when we advertise this job, we get a response, a positive response from someone who is a certified assessor, so we can move on.
Okay, you did a lot of work. Thank you.
Good job.
Yep, great job. All right, any further discussion on that?
Have to vote on that or no?
No,
I don't think so. Okay, G, discussion and possible action on allowing private use of the Bethel Road Dog Pound facility. So I had received an email from a resident who was interested in renting the old dog pound on Bethel Road. And I spoke to Eric about it, and we currently use for our animal control services, NECOG. And I was told that we have to keep that as an extra holding facility in case it was needed. But Eric felt, and I think that I would tend to agree, that I think we're looking at a whole different potential for liability to rent it out to residents in the town. So I think that we're going to, I would suggest that we do not agree or go ahead with rental of that particular building.
I agree with you on that. So the liability is far more than any advantageous thing. I have no idea what they want to use it for, but I think that we need to, if we don't need the property, maybe we should get rid of it, but.
Well, that's my concern. My thought is at least to find out what they want to use it for, how much it's worth. And if, number one, if we are required to use it, find it hard to believe that that can be shut down as a dog pound and they want us to keep it open as a backup dog pound, but crazier things happen in the state of Connecticut. So I think we should investigate a little bit further maybe, and then kind of say no, but I think I'd go with what everybody says, but I think I just need a little bit more facts, that's all.
I think,
I can tell you that if we do sell it, we would not, like, if we just hold on to it and for some reason we don't re-sign the contract with NECOG, we're grandfathered in for that dog pound as it exists right now because we were using it. But if we make any changes to it or get rid of it, then we have to make it up to their standards, which would be a lot. There's a lot of requirements now on that.
I'm sure.
But I thought it got shut down because it wasn't inhumane or something, didn't it? get shut down
No,
for that?
no, that had nothing to do with it.
Oh, okay.
no,
It would need a lot of work.
it does need some work. I will say that.
I mean, I don't have a problem either way. I'm just voicing my opinion. That's all.
Okay, all right. But in terms of,
I'll make a motion that we deny the application for private use of the Bethel Road Dog Pound facility.
I'll second that.
okay, we have a motion and we have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. And H, discussion and possible action on economic development opportunity at 77 Anthony Street, the Wirewine property. I'm going to ask that we table this. The gentleman who had planned to be here tonight cannot be here tonight, so I'd like to table that.
Make a motion
That
to
I
table
know.
the next month's meeting.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and we have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. And then number 7, any other business that may properly come before the board. I would like to ask that we add discussion and possible action on acceptance of the old alternative school, 1553 Glasgow Road. Like a motion to bring that onto the agenda.
I'll make a motion to bring it onto the agenda
I'll
as
second.
presented.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, now, we had talked about this at previous selectmen meetings. And the way that it was left was that we were concerned about taking on expense in terms of repairs and what may need to be rehabilitated in that building. And then further discussion brought, and I think that the last thing we said is that it had to be inspected. But since that time, I think that we've come to the conclusion that, or the decision that the building would be sold as is, and I did check with town's attorney. So, having said that, I did go up, I walked through the property, through the building, I've been up there several times. And last week I had, we requested walkthroughs with 3 local realtors. And we've done that, so now we're waiting on proposals to come in from the realtors. But I think what we would need to do is make the motion based on what town's attorney said, is that we are able to sell the property as is.
How
So,
bad a shape was it on your plan?
I'll be honest with you, I like the building, I do. I think that we found that it is not zoned commercial. I think it's R40, I think it is, so it's residential. And, it was functional. I mean, we had students in there, and upstairs has been totally unoccupied. In fact, nobody, per fire marshal, nobody is allowed upstairs. But it's quite a large facility, so it could be used maximum 2 family. So I'm working with the realtors on that right now. But I think that what we need to get on the record is that we agree to sell the property as is.
Make a
What's the
motion, sorry.
What's the address again?
1553 Glasgow Road. Do you want to make a motion? Mark?
Yeah, I make a motion, that I will give the selectmen the authority to, contract to deal with the best real estate agency determines and, move forward and selling it as is with no liability back to, town of Greenville.
Okay,
I'll second it.
okay. We have a motion made and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. And then I would like a motion to bring on Friends of Patchogue Forest to discuss NIP money. Somebody could make a motion to bring it onto the
I
agenda.
make a motion, we put,
That's your
Friends of
forest.
Patrick Forest for net money on the agenda.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Sharon?
As same as last year, we asked this town for some nip money for our grippers and bags and, probably food again at the Hopeville Pavilion and stuff. And so we're reaching out again to see if the town is willing to donate some more money to us
Do you
for
have
this
it?
year's birthday.
How much did we do last year?
You gave us 500 last year.
Is that what you're looking for again?
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
I was told to ask for 32, but, and we'd like you guys willing to look down, but no, we're good with 500. we get other money for Earth Day through the Last Green Valley too.
Yes,
So we don't wanna abuse anything and stuff, but as you know, we do a lot of cleanup
a
and
lot.
stuff. And we're starting to give grippers out to Griswold residents now. Some of the good
Really?
grippers we're
Good.
buying and the bags that people wanna get on a weekly or a monthly cleanup and stuff, which
Mhm.
it's slowly getting caught up to where people are coming out to help and stuff
Right.
like that.
That was, I believe, the NIP money is designed to do, exactly.
Yep.
So I'll make a motion that we allocate the sum of $500 from the NIP money to the Friends of Patchogue Forest for the purpose of Earth Day.
I second the motion.
Okay, we have a motion made and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
And can I continue on a little bit?
Sure, go ahead.
For the Earth Day for the town, we have people willing to do the trucks again for you and haul anybody's stuff, all that kind of stuff. And
okay,
anything else the town needs and stuff. We have the pavilion provided on the 27th,
the
April
27th, yes.
and stuff, so.
Yeah, the,
And will you be doing any flyers to hand out for businesses or anything like that?
yes, probably,
Okay.
yeah. And just so that, just for the general public, our town cleanup for Earth Day is going to be on Saturday, April 27th. So we're looking for groups, individuals who are willing to participate in that day. It's grown over the years, so. Okay, thank you, Sharon.
Thank you.
Okay, and the last item that I would ask, if somebody could make a motion to add it to the agenda, is the keyless entry to the town buildings.
Make a motion, we bring the keyless entry subject onto the
Agenda.
agenda.
Okay,
Second it.
okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, some time ago, this goes back to 2020, there was a plan in place to go through all of the town buildings with a company. And there was a lot of research done to create a keyless entry system for all of our buildings. And it just kind of carried on through the years. And part of the quote that was given to us by this business included time clock integration, which meant that you would use a key fob, and Lisa, you have the fob to show them, to enter the buildings.
I got one too.
Yep, and we currently have key fobs, but when I started going through this contract, the thing that kind of raised the awareness to me is that every week, staff time cards are brought to me for review and for signature. And I couldn't quite understand if time clock integration was in the contract, why are we still punching a time clock? So I started going through and doing a little bit of research, and it concerned me, and it should. I do believe Public Works is on, in other words, when you use your key fob to get into a building, it should automatically register the time that a staff member is coming in and going out. And Public Works, they were doing it that way. It did not work in the beginning, but the town hall still is not on this integration system. The senior center is not on this integration system. The youth center is not on this integration system. In fact, most of the buildings have key fobs, but the senior center system, entry system was never done. We're still using keys to get in the senior center.
Was the initial contractor posted to all these buildings?
Yes. However, this particular business was paid in full. Okay. I went through the files and I pulled a letter from former administration that was sent. As a matter of fact, it was a year ago this month to ask this person what's going on. We need to finish this job. And Lisa, I think you can confirm there was never any response and never any follow-up.
Well, it was he did call back and he kept saying he'd be in, but still the same situation, just doesn't show up.
Okay. So I think we have to decide where we want to go with this. I have my ideas. but I'd like to know what you think.
Well, the first question is, do you want to get it, do you want to get the fob system going? Is that the issue, or do you find the
Well,
way
we
it is?
paid for it, I think that's a.
No, I know, but
Can we
obviously,
take
you're gonna have to sue him to get it back or hire somebody else, so that's why I'm
the
asking.
attorney first, I would think.
I,
The attorney. I would get the town attorney involved and say, at least shoot him off a letter and say, hey, we paid you for this work and you didn't do it.
Right, but are you gonna be comfortable with him doing the rest of the work anyway?
I think,
We'll see if he even
Okay.
responds, you know?
All right, but my first question was,
Yeah,
do you want everything integrated? Is that the way you wanna go? Because
that was the intention. And it's not, I think it could be a very, it would be a very good system.
Okay.
All right, and I think it would be beneficial. It certainly would save on time. I think it would be much more effective.
Right.
So,
I agree with all that. I think certainly gotta go legal, but I think reality is it's gonna be a couple of years before you figure this out. So I think you might wanna find out what the shortfallings are with maybe some other companies. So we have some ammunition when we do sue the gentleman of what it's gonna cost us now.
well, I can tell you, do you want to know how much he was paid?
If you wanna tell us.
He received a check from the town for $23,975. It's a lot of money.
Mhm.
So I think we really should follow up on
I
it.
agree.
at least the first step,
Right.
and see where it
I
goes,
just
and
don't
see
think it's
how,
gonna happen
how
right
things
away,
work
that's
out.
all.
And
No,
I mean, if we have to redo it with somebody else, and that's gonna be the,
Okay,
okay, so
I make a motion that you send that gentleman, whoever's name is, to legal, well, with much horsepower as you have.
I'll second it.
okay, we have a motion, we have a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. And having said that, that's all I have to add under any other business. So we'll move on to number 8, public forum. Mr. Barney.
James Barney, 735 Hopeville Road. It's funny, we must have some mental telepathy going on between you and I, because I was gonna stop in and see you today to talk about expanding the board of selectmen. It's something I've been thinking about and talking about for quite some time. I have discussed the issue with someone in the state, and my recollection is that it could possibly be done by an ordinance.
Mhm.
And I would like to volunteer to be on that committee that's going to look at that.
Okay. All right, thank you. Yes,
Hey, I have 2 questions. First, I think. the
Excuse me,
dog pound you're
name,
talking about-
Marty,
Marty
excuse me.
Oscar,
Thank
134
you.
Colonel Brown Road.
Thank you.
The dog pound we're referring to, I think this is dog pound that's on Colonel Brown Road, not Bethel Road.
Yes.
it is Colonel
Yeah.
Brown. Yep,
And my second question, when you were talking about putting the old alternative school on the market now, does that mean it transfers over to the town of Bristol and comes out of the Board of Education?
yes, because the transfer was going to take, as a matter of fact, it really has, but we have to have a formal letter. But we didn't want to do that until we clarified, because I think, Martin, you made the motion that it should be inspected.
Right.
That's why we wanted to clarify that today, and Sean has been in touch with me, and we'll probably get all of that resolved this week. Okay, all right. Any other public forum? Dave?
Dave, you 59 way up first, I'd like to apologize for coming in late.
Well, I was gonna call you because we were worried.
I
about
wish you would have.
You haven't been here for 2 meetings. We were worried about this.
And he's in the wrong chair.
And regarding the alarm ordinance, that actually did go before town meeting. It had 2 clerical
after me.
errors. Ed Burdick was the moderator, and I was the only committee person here attending it.
Mhm.
2 ladies that attended brought up 2 clerical errors, which we corrected and sent back to the Board of Selectmen, but we waited because that was the only ordinance going up before town meeting. Well, it sat so long, it got lost. So then nobody had their copy, wanted it to be reviewed, and so rather than redoing the one we had, the chairperson decided that it needs to cover everything from residential to commercial properties. So that's why it was reformatted that way. That discussion with the original committee went on very long term, whether it to be residential or not residential. At that time, it was my opinion, if you're pulling a fire truck out for a response, you're tying it up, and it should cover residential. So I was kind of glad it went that way now. I noticed that the chairperson has it on the agenda for the next ordinance committee meeting. I just would request that we get some guidance, so I know which way to go, whether we're including residential or not including it.
I can only speak for myself in that regard, and I would definitely be in favor of exempting residential. That's my personal point of view. Theirs is different. If that's fine, that's mine.
I remember that.
But anything that happens in that meeting on Thursday, it has to come for final approval through the Board of Selectmen
Right,
anyway, so it's gonna come back to us,
Okay,
okay? I won't state my opinion right now. I'm gonna let the group do their work, and we'll go from there.
thank you.
Thank you. Any other public forum? Okay, having said that,
Motion to adjourn. Second.
we have a motion to adjourn and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, guys.